Let's talk about making your marriage great. In this study, I want us to cover communication. Proverbs chapter 25 and verse 11 says, "A word that is fitly spoken is like apples of gold and settings of silver." In other words, what he's saying is nothing in this world is better or will make you more successful than being able to communicate well. And as a matter of fact, communication is the most important part of your marriage. All the other things that you may have issues with in marriage really will boil down to communication. Whether it may be sex or finances, whether it be parenting or marriage roles, really everything comes down to communication and how it is that you go about fixing certain issues. Many times we'll meet couples who have been married for 50 years or 60 years, and at their anniversary party, when everybody's celebrating, they'll say, "We've never had an argument in all these 50 years. Well, unless one person is completely dominating the other person, there's always going to be a disagreement of some sort. Now, it may not be defined as an argument. We may not look at it in that way, but there has to be some way to resolve conflict in a relationship between two people. And so it's pretty important for us to cover communication. So let's look at some keys to good communication. First and foremost, when you're communicating, especially if you begin to argue, look to win the situation and not the argument. Sometimes a husband and wife, when they begin to argue, it becomes a competition. Who's going to win? Who's going to dominate? Who's going to be the one that's right? Well, it's important for us to fix the situation and not the person. It's also important for us to listen, to understand, and not to respond. Sometimes when we're in an argument and we're listening to the other person, we're trying to formulate a way in which we can overcome that other person's argument, rather than listening to what it is that person needs and what it is that person's going through. Another suggestion is to listen to and focus on one subject at a time. Instead of going through a smorgasbord or a scattered area where you're fixing everything at once, focus on what the situation is, focus on where the problem is, and work on that. A second key, not only in winning the situation with the argument, but a second key to better communication is to watch yourself. Look at your body language. Are you someone who is tensed up? Is your voice loud? How is it that you're coming across to your spouse when you're communicating with them? Be careful not to exaggerate and distort. Don't use words like, "Well, you always do this," or "You never have done that." Be very careful about those things. The book of James tells us that each one of us needs to be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Be a person who listens. Be a person who controls your body language as you communicate. Number 3, understand what it is that they're saying. Seek to understand. Why is it that this issue has come up? What is it in your spouse that's causing this issue when it comes across? What is it that they're really trying to say? It's important for us to understand our spouse as much as it is to understand the situation in which the argument or communication is coming across. We read in Luke chapter 6 and verse 45 that the things that we say, the things that we do, truly flow from our heart. And so it's important to read the heart. The third key I want us to look at when we talk about communication is this. Always look to build up good things. Compliment your spouse. Praise them at every opportunity. It's often said that one negative comment can cover up 10 or 20 or 30 positive comments. And so you need to build up good credits. Compliment your spouse so that they don't always think that you're negative, so that they're not always defensive towards the things that you're saying. At every opportunity, praise them. Also, enjoy your spouse. You're the one who picked your spouse out. You're the one who married this person. Enjoy your time with them. Study them, learn about them, learn about everything you can in your time that you're with them. And thirdly, when we're talking about communication, work to improve the way in which you communicate with your spouse every single day. The Lord made us to be one flesh, so it's important that we learn about what it is that our spouse wants, what it is that defines our spouse, what it is that makes him or her happy and him or her upset, what their goals and their dreams are in the things in which they go through. Communication is very important in every form of relationship, so it's important for us to communicate well. That's why we got to remember that communication is the most important part. You fix that, everything else will take care of itself. That's why it's important for us to remember those 3 keys. Win the situation, not the argument. Watch your body language and how you react to other people. And seek to understand your spouse. That's why it's important to build up good things. Compliment and praise your spouse at every single opportunity. Enjoy your spouse and work to improve every single day.